Last time the Stillware Chronicles mirrored princes. After Catherine has finished off Overload's first form, Overload returns back in his new powerful form that had both Catherine and Eileen's ability. At first, he seemed to be quite challenging for Edric and Dragonel, especially since he didn't have any workarounds against Overload's makeshift Magnum. However, after a bit of fighting, they managed to find a way to overcome most of his attacks. That is, until he found his new power source to increase his power in order to put all of them both down for good. At least that's what it seemed like, until Edric found his new wave of energy and went to his beyond state to finish all the fights. This obviously caught Overload off guard, and he manages to win after a long, tough battle. Though Overload still managed to stay alive, it was clear that the fight was pretty much in Edric's favor, and that he had to escape in order to make sure that he can fight another day, leading to another of our hero's victories. Episode 11. Brothers from Different Parents. We start back at the castle, in a different part of it to be specific. There, a couple of guards stood there to protect a table with 3 individuals standing around it. One of them was Mikey in a younger state, while the other was the oldest Dragonel in his younger state. The last was Magonian, who wore a metallic suit while crossing his hands. The 3 stood determined as the 4th person coming behind Mikey, who was an older woman in her own royal gown. Are you telling me that he's ready for this, Morgan? She looked at Magonian with confidence.
If my son can handle a 3-year-old boy, I'm pretty sure we can handle his first meeting. Anywho, Michael, if you will.
He took a deep breath before he glanced fiercely. The Star Council meeting begins now. Michael Stark, as representing the Kingdom of Starvania, reports in. Neil nodded confidently. As for the cursed, Hookraven Dragonel the Fourth reports in. The Magonian sends his fist down. And leader of the Magonians, President Sylvic reports in. He looked toward Mikey. The floor is yours, boy. Mikey remained determined yet a little annoyed. Not a lot to go over today besides the obvious. As of now, the Dark Warriors remain true to their word. Though we don't know how much longer they'll stand by that claim, we can at least say there is no motion to stage an attack. Not much as of yet. However, we can never be too sure. They always find a way to slip into the most unlikely of places. Don't forget what they did to my nation. I get a case that needs remembrance, but at the same time it is unwise to take action now. Starvania and the Cursed are still rebuilding, and I'm sure your Magonians are still recovering from all those invasions years ago. Which is why we should assume for the better and focus on our home's problems. Even then, it would be unwise for an attack as well. Darky was a big reason on why they were able to win. They need another leader like him, and so far the candidates they have aren't showing it. The others nod in agreement. Which brings to my discussion I want to bring. Talk about adding a new member of the council. With Carlos still being MIA, we could really use another member to help us with our endeavors. The words became muddled as the view shifted to a room under the meeting place. There was a small red dragon who appeared to be a younger HR dragon of the 5th and a playpen. He seemed bored in the situation as the toys lay still around him. As he was, he sighed as the voices continued to discuss. After he did, footsteps came closer to him. He looks over to see a young Edric stare at him happily. Sora stood behind him with a smile.
Seems like you can use a playmate.
The dragon backs away slowly from them. It sounds like the small prince holds his hand out with his own smile.
Make sure you play nice with him, Edric.
The dragon slowly reached out to his hand, and they held for a bit to feel a little more at ease. The day rolled on by as the meeting continued at a steady pace. Both of the boys played around with some of the toys as they played out bank heist. Look out! Here comes the wild bandit! At first he was surprised, the dragon helped ignite the toy in the fence. That's okay. I got Sir Ironpants to help me. They both changed the charge of toys they while making their own sound effects. Eventually we began to laugh while falling down to the ground. They get back up to continue playing a new game, which is tag. It's crazy how long ago that was. I remember it like it was yesterday. The memory slowly fades out as the other ones show the boys doing more activities together at different time periods. Since then, we made sure that we did everything together. It was rare that we had a moment apart. After the memory that happened in the previous fight showed up. But it seems nowadays you're gotten further ahead of me. I can't help but feel like I'm so far behind. Memories go away to see him lay on the bed in thought. I failed to protect you, and that's been one of the main things that forced us away. He heard a noise of a door opening. He looks up to see Eileen stand there in her pajamas. She was shocked to see him there.
Oh, I didn't expect to see you here. I thought you don't rest in bed.
He shrugs, looking up. I usually don't, only on a few occasions. I need my wings to spread in order to get some proper sleep. She walks over to the closet to get something.
Well, I see. I hope you don't mind me asking why you're in here.
He looks back at the ceiling. I'm just thinking, that's all. She nods while taking out a few more pairs of clothes.
I'll leave you to it then.
She stops before leaving the room.
Are you okay?
Dragonel looks back up to her calmly. Of course I am. Why wouldn't I be? He smiles in diminished attention. Though she had her doubts, she backed off knowing he wasn't up to talk about it.
If you say so, just know that I'm here to talk if you want. We all friends after all.
He gets up from the bed and stretches limbs. I don't need to, but I do appreciate that. I'm fine, believe me. He leaves for the window. Now if you excuse me, I'm going on a late night flight. That won't be too long, so save some ice cream for me. She stands there looking onward worryingly. This is Edric in the dining room making a house of cards. He and Catherine working together on it. I don't get it. How does this help us master our beyond states? She was focused along with him.
These forms go beyond our normal limitations that our bodies have. In order to work with it, we need to find a way to balance it out. These late-night exercises should help us reach that understanding.
He managed to get the top guard to lay perfectly after a careful placement. Well, I'm not going to argue about that. I can't help but think there's a better way to demonstrate it than some stupid cards. Catherine went next as Eileen came out to them. She looked at the house herself.
Seems you've been busy. I wouldn't be loud right now. This thing is pretty high and we need full concentration.
Catherine still tried to figure out where to put it next.
Anyway, Edric, I think something's wrong with Dragonel.
He nods with his little snort. We already talked about it. Right now isn't the best time to discuss with him.
No, I think it's something else.
He looks at her weirdly.
Ever since the Overload fight, he's been a little less cheerful than he normally is. Not to mention he's deeper into thought as of late.
He nods, thinking it over. That is a little uncharacteristic of him. He looks over to see Catherine plays her card nicely. He takes no one for his turn. I suppose I should talk to him about it. At the same time, I'm not entirely surprised either. A lot of us have something to think about, and he's just going through it the best way he can. Let me guess, he's out flying right now. She nods cautiously. That's one of the ways that helps him think. He needs to feel the air on his face to ease his mind. I'll talk to him tomorrow, but I think he'll be fine. For all the years I've known him, he's always kept a positive attitude, even when his mind is heavy, which takes the Dragonel flying by the clouds an unfamiliar feeling. Not only looking onwards, he recalls a message Mikey gave to Edric a while back. With that in mind, he flies on sturdily. Morning comes. Catherine and Edric were far away in open field press in their beyond states. They squared off with each other after they had made sure no one was nearby.
Coast is clear. Looks like we have the whole field to ourselves.
He starts warming himself up. Good. Shall we get started? She nods as her energy begins to rise. Eventually both reach a peak of their power.
Hold it there. Don't push it out just yet until you're comfortable at 100%.
He nods as the energy fluctuates around them.
I'm going off what others in the agency did to master their beyond states. At first, it's best to keep yourself focused at 100.
He laughs confidently. Don't worry, I'm always focused. He felt something hit his head. Looking back, he sees one of her circles behind him. She soon laughs after. Oh, you think you're so funny.
Gotta keep focused, dude.
Dragonel looks unworryingly from a distance. I don't know why I'm so worried. He's fine. It's obvious he's got past my own level of power. In reality, he should be protecting me. He tries to laugh it off, for that feeling to reside inside him. He's fine, so I should be too. He grips the leaves hard as he sits in his tree. Back with the air too, Catherine begins to keep Edric on his toes as he dodges projectile after projectile. How is this helping?
So far, you haven't lost any focus yet. So I say it's helping quite nicely.
I'm more referring to you. all I'm getting from this is that you're trying to harass me. She started to breathe heavily for a bag. She fired more shots.
Relax. I'm getting my training in as well.
She keeps an eye on every circle as more energy gets placed in each one. Dragonel kept watching in concern. It got to the point where one of the bullets was gunning for him as he didn't notice it. Shit, he's gonna get hit. Getting his wings ready, he dashes over to save him. Edric finally notices the bullet as he gets his ability ready to counter. That is until he sees Dragonel take the bullet for him. He watches in horror as Dragonel rolls down in pain. Dude! Dragonel gets back up with the bullet in hand. Thank God he's scaled me for good armor. He looks back at Edric happily. Did you get my skin as like a bulletproof vest? It did hurt a little, but it really was nothing. Of course I didn't forget you, dumbass! You're ruining my training! It dawned on him what he did. I knew that bullet was coming for me. That's why I was preparing to shrink it. But now you made me lose my focus. Catherine was laughing in the background. She let down her energy.
I think it's a good place to break for lunch. Why don't you join us, Dragonel?
He agrees happily. Edric was still annoyed, but he went along with it. We cut to a nearby restaurant where everyone got their own sandwiches. Dragonel was last to get his as Catherine kept telling Edric what he could be doing better.
So I'm thinking that you need to loosen your muscles. The way you dodge them looks so stiff.
Come on, I didn't do that bad. They said as Dragonel sat down. That gave Catherine the cue to get back up.
Well, we have been training for quite a bit. I really need to use the ladies' room. Make sure no one steals my food.
Edric nods as she goes the complete opposite direction of the bathroom. You're gonna lie. Make it convincing at least. He takes a deep breath while turning to Dragonel. After his friend inhales the sandwich, he stares at him oddly. It's how I eat, okay? It's not what I'm looking at you for. Eileen mentioned you've been acting strange as of late. He quickly brushes this off. What does she know about me? I told her I'm perfectly fine. Here's the thing, I'm starting to notice it too. If you're talking about today, it was natural instinct. I couldn't help it when my friend was in danger. Edric gave him a dumbfounded look. She was firing in airsoft guns. It dawned on Dragonel what was happening. Oh, I didn't know that. He facepalmed in annoyance. Dude, just tell me what's going on. Dragonel shook his head again. How many times do I need to say it? I'm fine. Are you? Dragonel gets up to grab his trash. Yes, I am. Edric didn't bite this at all. That's when he took a toothpick from his table and tossed it in the air with Dragonel noticing. He grew it in size as it came down to him as his friend tossed his trash away. Looking up, he gets up to stop the toothpick from falling. However, he was faked out as it shrank back in size and bounced off his head. He looks down at Edric, who nods unsurprised. In those situations, you would just told me to in plain danger and not try to stop it yourself. And while I'm at it, don't think I've been seeing you be a lot more clean as of late. I'm going to ask you again, and I want you to be honest with me. What is wrong with you? Dragonel still refused to answer as he flew back down. I'm your best friend, HR. And as my friend, I need you to trust me when I say I'm... Edric gets up from his seat in rage. Enough of the bullshit! I said be honest with me! This caught his friend off guard. Why are you lying? Dragonel gets up low and annoyed himself. I'm not lying. I'm fine. Edric's on the table again. This is starting to piss me off. I want to help you, goddammit! That's what I'm trying to do because I failed to protect you last time. Dragonel realized that it slipped out of his mouth. He holds his mouth in shame. What do you mean you failed to protect me? Dragonel shook his head viciously as he wanted to fly off. Oh no you don't! He promptly, as the one in front of him grew. I'm starting to get you to open up, and now you decide to run away. Dragonel kept talking to himself. Please don't make me say it. I don't need your protection. I need your help. There was no protection last time, just letting out everything you had. No, not from Overload, for yourself. Dragonel held his mouth again. Myself? What do you mean? Do you not trust me? Did Eileen get through to you about me? Dragonel continued to fly off. Hey, don't just leave. This led to a wild goose chase. Catherine stared from afar while thinking about what will happen next. Eileen was there as well.
I should have known he would have caused this. I'll stop him.
Catherine held her back as they watched.
No need. Let them work it out on their own. We're just going to make it worse.
She looked at her confused as the chase went down. Edric kept pace with Dragonel as we raced on him on rooftops. You can only fly for so long, mate. All you have to do is open up. Dragonel said nothing as he flew off. And here I thought you were better than me. Fine, makes you feel better, I'll go first. I do appreciate our friendship more than most things, but I think we've been spending too much time with each other. I think you never want me to leave by your side, and I'll be completely honest. I've been tired of this for about 6 years now. I've always known this was a problem, just never told you until now because I was afraid that I was going to lose you. So there, I went first. Tell me what's going on. Dragonel kept shaking his head as he picked us up to speed. Edric kept going himself. Come on, it can't be that hard to tell me. Please stop following me. Edric looked to his right to see the open field. With a bit of thinking, he gets his plan ready. If you insist. He jumps in position to punch Dragonel straight towards the open field. Dragonel gets up in pants with slide on it for a few seconds. He looks over to see Edric walking straight towards him. I didn't want to come to this. So what, you're gonna beat the answers out of me? Eric suddenly actually slammed his fists together. Dragonel gets into the defensive stance as he squares off with them. Now we go to a different building on another island in the Atlantic. It was another old Team Mana base as Overlord and Darkness reside in as they both recovered from their previous fights. Overlord himself had things set up in a presentation style as Darkness looked intrigued. Okay, I think everything's set and ready to go. Time for our new plan. He clicks on the as he shows a slide from the kids beating them. As you know, we failed to beat them once more. Not merely because of our shortcomings, but 2 of them achieved their beyond states. I know all of those things. I know all about those things. Pearson's dragon form couldn't compete with that. Oh, let's see annoyed to hearing that name. Indeed. Anywho, the boy did mention good points. I was hoping that wouldn't be a problem in the fight, and the only ability you can wield its full potential with is the one you're born with. At least, except for one. However, I can't think of it on the spot. He looks back over to the suit. And because we have very little knowledge of what to do next, we are in a bit of a bind. I'm sure you can think of something, sir. Arlo shook his head while rubbing his eyes. At wit's end, I'm telling you. What I'm pissed off about is the fact that I know of the source out there, something that I don't have to be born with in order to use its full potential, yet it escapes me.
Sounds to me that you need some assistance.
Orlo and Darnart looked around after hearing that. Darnart brought out his sword in defense. Show yourself.
I would if I could, but that doesn't matter now.
Orlo looks over to the screen. It was nothing but static as the sword noise came from it.
Judging that I was able to reach you, that means you aren't that far off from Cursed Island.
About an island or 2 off. Who is this?
I'll explain that in a minute. It seems that I was able to get it to work. Good. I knew all those years of trying would eventually pay off.
Tell us what's going on now.
Rather pushy, aren't we? I've been pretty patient over the past 20 years. I think you can be the same. Whatever, I might as well work with what I got.
20 years? Sounds like you've been held captive.
Like you wouldn't believe. Though I'm not that shocked about it. This was something I expected when I eventually lost. But my foe is too weak. He had me captured and detained for the rest of my life, then kill me. Little does he know that I've grown smarter over the years. Ever since my birth, I learned more about this world and how to work with it. Power that is undeservedly given to those who wasted it. It's maddening, yet he never saw it that way. Well, not much can be done about that yet. I managed to steal one of the guard's transmissions to get to this call. That was too careless of them, so I consider myself lucky.
She's like a certain person I know of.
As you mentioned, and I also was able to hear that you needed a way to remember the lost material.
Arlo tells Darnart to back off as he was full of intrigue. Do you know about it?
I might, yet I'm not going to give it to you for free. Information doesn't come cheap, so I would like to ask for your help first.
Let me guess, you want me to free you?
More than that, I have a certain someone to pay a visit to. However, since I lost him, I don't have enough power yet to battle with him.
And who are you trying to fight? The voice cleared their throat to speak.
H.R. Dragonel the Fourth. I'm sure you heard of him.
The 2 Megonians gave a shocked look before laughing. Seriously? You expect us to fight him? You must be out of your damn mind if you think we can take him on right now.
Then how about we find that power source you need to fight him?
Here's the thing, bud. I have no idea what it is yet. The only clue I can give might have something to do with Magnum. But that's only a possibility. The voice was obviously displeased. Not to mention, we have absolutely no idea who you are nor what you really want with him. For all we know, some sort of trap set up by him. And let's just say I don't feel like taking a risk right now.
You're going to regret that decision.
Arlo sends a piece of mail to break the screen, causing the communication to break off. What a dumbass. Think we'll just help him because he asked. Darnart laughed along with him. I know, but something seemed off about that. It looks at his right-hand man with confusion. It started to click with me that whoever they were sounded familiar. I don't have the voice. How they mention Dragonel makes it sound like it's someone I should know. Maybe so. Or it's just some sick prank. Whatever it is, we aren't responding to their call. I'm going to research his ability. Keep an eye on the place while I'm gone. Earl was about to leave, but he had one more thing to say. Also, if he ever calls again, don't pick up. Let him rot in his cell. He leaves his partner and looks on, unsure of the voice. Meanwhile, the boys came to duke it out in the middle of the park. Thankfully, everyone stayed away from them as they fought. This is ridiculous. They're fighting over nothing. They punched and blocked each other over and over again. I don't know what it comes to this, but you're being extremely difficult. Oh, you're one to talk. I thought as my friend you would respect my boundaries. I would if those boundaries didn't happen to overlay with mine. There's something clearly off having with you, and it has something to do with me. They both backed off after dodging their next attack. It has nothing to do with you. What I said earlier was a mistake, a little misunderstanding. Edric points at him sternly. If it was, then tell me what you meant by that. Dragonel shook his head as he prepared for more lightning. Nothing. I meant nothing by that. I told you it was a mistake. He felt the rock beneath him hit him as it grew. You're just full of it today. I'm your best friend. Tell me what's wrong. Dragonel gets angry. Just shut up, okay? Edric was surprised as he sees his friend look at him fiercely. It's me, isn't it? Dragonel flew quickly to give a Brock check over and over again. You got that right. You won't leave me alone about this. Edric takes every hit as easily as he goes into his beyond state. You of all people should know that we never leave each other alone. We always do things together. That's how you always want it. That's not true. We do things by ourselves. Look at you. You have a beyond state everything while I'm left catching up. You achieve it too. Is that what you're upset about? Of course not, because I'm not upset about anything. Edric grew his fist in size as someone grasped him and smacked him. Do you ever hear yourself? You're making me look like the better person here. Ask Eileen, do you know how hard it is to do? His friend slowly gets up as he rubs his spot in pain. Tears form in Edric's eyes as he marched forward. I want to help you. Outside my parents, the only one I always cared about. Edric, stop. Ever since we're young, you're always there for each other. You're my brother from a different mother and father. Dragonel backs up in shame. Please don't do this. I know it has something to do with me. You said it yourself earlier. It was a mistake. You meant it. Do you feel pressure by me? Dragonel refused to answer as tears formed in his eyes. Tell me I'm the problem. I can't. Tell me I'm the problem and please be honest. Edric grips at both of his hands. Dragonel, be honest with yourself. Silence remained as the wind blew beside them. As the bed staring, Edric sighed with a depressing look. I understand. I'm not gonna force you to tell me. Your face speaks for itself. Dragonel widened his eyes. That's when he saw his friend begin to leave. I'm not the greatest person to be friends with. I know that much. I always knew this whole time you would come when you realize it. I always had this feeling it was because you wanted to see the best in me that you stayed. But you can't hide from your feelings anymore. I'm sorry I hurt you. It's not you. Edric stopped after hearing that. I'll come clean. It's not you. It's me. I was confused to hear that. Your father would have made that speech not too long ago about finding out who you want to be. Well, I thought a lot about it. I'm not sure who I am. I know why I want to protect the ones I care for. I failed to do that with you. I care a lot about you. When I fell to Orville back then, I thought that was it. But you rose up and defeated him with your beyond state. All I can think to myself is how lucky I was that you were able to do that. Dragonel, I made a promise I'll never let you down ever again. I will let no one down. But I'm not strong enough. How can I be a king of a nation and your friend when I fail so hard? Tears kept dripping down as he said that. His friend came out to hug him. I think you're strong enough. Dragonel didn't know what to say. I know you like to think I was strong by own during that fight. But you forgot I pretty much lost it. It wasn't for that second win, we wouldn't be here talking right now. But you made it look so easy. It really wasn't. In fact, I was at the point of giving up completely. But after what Eileen said, after what you did, I couldn't give up. Don't you see? It was because of you I was able to win that fight. Dragonel was shocked to hear that as he looked back off again. But don't brag about it. Like you. They both laughed at hearing that. That's when they decided to go home. Look, I don't really need your protection. I know what you mean now, but I really don't. All I want is your support. As I think about it, he smiles at that conclusion. I can do that at least. Edric punched his arm playfully. You can expect me to do the same, you reptilian knucklehead. Dragonel punches back. You're the knucklehead. They banter back and forth as they saw Eileen and Catherine stand by the gate unamused.
Seems you two had fun.
Good news, I won. I managed to get in the crack.
Yeah, while also scaring off numerous civilians in the process with your reckless fighting. Don't you see? You're getting her to say it.
Catherine was confused to hear that.
What do you mean? I'm not reckless.
They all laugh while walking along.
Oh, yeah? Then what was that big explosion you had during the fight?
Catherine continued to explain herself as the words came onto one Dragonel's mind. With a smile, he looks up to the sky with one last tear. I'm not ready yet, but just you watch, Mom. He looks back up again to fly. Hey, wait for me! He adds on the conversation as he flies along. Finally, he signals back to an unknown cave in the middle of the island. There, a chin-up beast hits the wall repeatedly with his fists. The way they speak sounded familiar to the unknown voice the Magonians heard.
Blast it all. 20 years of loneliness, and all I get is a slap in the face.
Looks back to the radio.
I'll say it again. You're going to regret the decision you made.
As he finishes punching, he hears a knock on the door. Oi, keep it down in there. To make us show you.
Good if you did that.
The guards in response return to their post.
That's right, stay silent.
He then hears Stack on the radio again. This caused the beast to panic as he took it in a quieter place.
Of all times. Well, maybe my threat got through to them.
As he said that, another voice came on the radio. However, to him it was unrecognizable static. Back in the house, Dragonel came to the roof to look at the night sky. He stares at joyfully as he sees a few shooting stars. Make a wish? He looks over to see Edric clamps at him. He walks over to lay beside him. Nothing too major. Oh, come on. You can't pass up a wish for something not major. Dragonel smilingly looks at him. Would you say an infinite amount of steak, Major? Edric laughed hysterically as the last star shot away. Are you kidding? You'll never go hungry again. Knowing you, though. Hey, I know what you're getting at. They both laugh while staring on. With a deep breath, Dragonel stares back at him. I am sorry. About what? For not answering earlier than I did. He shrugs and breaking his glance. Don't be. I can see why you're so hesitant to answer. That ain't something I would go around telling about either for me. But at the same time, I'm someone you can talk to about it. Don't forget you told me your problems before. I know, but I wasn't sure if you want to hear that. I figured you would blame yourself. Oh please, I'm not that selfless. You are, though. I tried to argue back about it. You might seem like this tough guy that likes to make fun of people, but you always have everyone's best interest in mind when the chips are all down. For me especially. I guess, but do you really think that of me? Dragonel stares back with a smile. Of course. I don't care what Eileen or anyone else says. That's one of the few things that make you my friend, after all. Edric smiled back. Gosh, I don't know what to say. Thanks. They both stared back up to the sea, something they never expected. At the same time, the unknown beast was able to make out the noise as something fell from the sky to the boys. This is a message. This is a pre-recorded message. If you're hearing this, and I failed the revolution, but I'm not willing to give up. I turned right out, get off the roof as they headed towards the object. You don't think that was a meteorite, do you? God, I hope not. The message continued. I give myself a chance to fight for another day. Yet I need your help. The boys eventually went over to the spot and questioned to see something shocking. This is our chance in the fight. Give me, Samus Bonovich, the chance to walk again. I see a boy with white hair, a blue short sleeve jacket, with a black undershirt, long jeans, and fingers gloves, laying in the crater in pain.